The story begins with a high school student named Jian, a reckless troublemaker who frequently gets into fights and causes chaos. His behavior is so disruptive that he finds himself sitting in the principal's office yet again. His older sister, who acts as his guardian, has been called to the school in an attempt to mediate the situation. She pleads with the principal to give Jian another chance, promising that he will change his ways and become more disciplined. However, Jian remains disrespectful, pushing the principal past his breaking point. Unwilling to tolerate Jian's behavior any longer, the principal expels him from school. That night, Jian browses the internet, searching for another high school to attend. After some searching, he stumbles upon a school with a notorious reputation, one that supposedly has no strict rules and is full of delinquents. Intrigued by the idea, Jian gets excited and decides to enroll there. The next day, he arrives at the new school, which was previously a prison but has since been converted into an educational institution. The moment he sets foot on the premises, he gets hit in the head by a ball. Viewing this as a direct challenge, Jian immediately gets ready to fight, believing the throwers are provoking him. However, when he confronts them, they unexpectedly apologize, leaving him bewildered. Confused but undeterred, he marches straight to the teacher's office to complete his enrollment. There, he discovers that this school operates very differently from others. Academic records and grades don't matter. The only admission requirement is being good at fighting. Since Jian enjoys fighting, he is accepted without hesitation. Once he is officially enrolled, Jian sets out to find his classroom. On the way, he encounters a student named Quan Chunsik and asks for directions. Because of Chunsik's neat and tidy appearance, Jian assumes he is weak and unimportant. What Jian doesn't realize is that Chunsik is actually one of the most powerful fighters in the entire school. When Jian finally enters his new classroom, he is brimming with confidence and eager to establish himself by challenging the strongest students. However, another student named Yangsik approaches him and informs him that fights are not allowed to happen randomly, there are rules in place. This confuses Jian, as he expected a lawless environment where brawls could happen at any time. Yangsik then takes him to the basement of the school, where he witnesses students engaging in organized one-on-one battles. Yangsik explains that fights are only allowed in this designated area and serve as a type of betting system between students and teachers. Furthermore, he reveals that the ultimate goal is to become the school's leader, a position that grants the winner the authority to set the rules. However, the former top fighter, Chong Diho, has been missing since an accident, leaving the title up for grabs. The three strongest remaining students are Ka, a wrestling and judo expert, the psychopath king, an eccentric fighter obsessed with Sun Wukong, and none other than Quan Chunsik, the student Jian underestimated earlier. Jian is thrilled by this discovery and immediately signs up for the fighting club. In his first match, he effortlessly defeats his opponent, impressing Yangsik and the spectators. As he continues winning fights, he gains recognition as a formidable fighter, with many students placing bets on his success. However, a corrupt teacher, who frequently bets on fights, becomes frustrated as Jian's victories cost him money. Seeking to stop Jian's progress, the teacher manipulates the tournament brackets, forcing Jian to fight Ka much earlier than scheduled. Ka, being an expert in wrestling and judo, dominates the match at first. Jian struggles against Ka's powerful techniques and is knocked down multiple times. But then, he makes a strategic decision. He removes his shirt, making it harder for Ka to get a grip on him. Surprisingly, this strategy works, allowing Jian to turn the tide of the battle. After an intense struggle, Jian finally manages to defeat Ka, earning the respect of his classmates. Jian's next fight is against the Psychopath King, who is known for his unorthodox fighting style. Unlike other opponents, the Psychopath King uses a unique strategy. He lets his opponents wear themselves out before striking. As the fight drags on, Jian begins to tire, giving the Psychopath King an opening to attack. However, at a crucial moment, the Psychopath King gets distracted when he loses his favorite toy. Seizing this opportunity, Jian lands a decisive blow and wins the fight. Just as Jian starts celebrating, the atmosphere changes drastically when a young man walks into the battle arena. The room falls silent as everyone realizes who it is: Chong Dio, the former champion and leader of the students. Dio's unexpected return stuns the entire school. Since his disappearance, many had assumed he was too injured to fight again, but he looks perfectly fine. Without hesitation, he ignores the school's official fighting rules and swiftly defeats Chunsik, one of the toughest fighters. Jian and the other students watch in shock as Dio reclaims his position as the strongest student. After defeating Chunsik, he takes down Ka and the Psychopath King as well, cementing his dominance. With his victory, Dio dismantles the official fight club, declaring that students are now free to fight whenever they please. Over time, more students begin to follow Dio, including Yansik, who chooses to join his side. One day, Yansik overhears a conversation revealing that Dio plans to target Jian and potentially harm him. Despite being part of Dio's group, Yansik still considers Jian a friend and secretly warns him to leave before it's too late. However, Dio overhears the conversation and, feeling betrayed, orders his followers to attack Yansik. Jian finds out what happened and rushes to help, only to see Yansik badly beaten. Overcome with guilt and rage, Jian decides that he must defeat Dio. That night, he has an emotional conversation with his sister, who reminds him that despite all his flaws, she still wants the best for him. Encouraged by her words, Jian gains the strength to face Dio in battle. The next day, Jian returns to school and accepts Dio's challenge. Before he can fight Dio directly, he first has to get past his followers. As the fight begins, Jian struggles under the sheer number of enemies. Just when it seems like he's about to be overwhelmed, Chunsik, Ka, and the Psychopath King unexpectedly arrive to help him. While they engage Dio's followers in combat, Jian and Dio face off in an intense battle. Jian barely manages to defend himself but refuses to give up. In the end, he overcomes Dio, officially becoming the school's new champion and leader. With his newfound authority, Jian reinstates the fighting club, restoring the structured battles. The story ends with Jian preparing for a fight against Chunsik, but the outcome remains unknown. Future.